All right. Hello, everyone. Welcome back. Wednesday live stream. I skipped last week. I just had too many things to catch up on. And part of it, too, was I kind of just I didn't really want to work on this. And I've been thinking about that for the last few minutes. Well, first of all, what are we working on? I'm still working on that cleaning service. This is not it. This is a local competitor, if you will. I'm still kind of working on that. And where I am is the design. And kind of the point I was trying to make, I hate design. I don't hate design. That's not, I don't hate design. I'm not good at design. But I think I'm good at product. Like, I have a vision of kind of what I want and the flow, and that tends to be pretty good. I mean, I've been developing websites for 25 years now. So I couldn't tell you that I have an eye for design per se, but I think I have a good idea of how a page should kind of like function and feel from like a product perspective. And so that's kind of the catch, right? I have an idea of what I want this site to look like, but I don't really have the patience or the skills to bring that to life. So I thought, like, okay, well, let's use AI, right? And I think if I was on like chat GPT, hello, I think we have, if I'm logged in still, where's like my recent chats library? Yeah, here we go, cleaning services. Yeah. So I tried some stuff like when we first started this. How do you get back to an old chat? Is this it? New chat, search chats. There it is, web design for the cleaning thing. So, I had some stuff that we did here on one of the early streams, right? And just went back and forth with AI and kind of, we're in gripe mode here. We've entered gripe mode. I apologize. We'll get to the code here in a second, but let me just kind of catch up where I've been, because I've done about 30 minutes off stream here, as you can see from all of these tabs. I've done about 30 minutes off stream, and I've come to a conclusion. The conclusion is, again, I'm not the best at design. It's not my skill set, but I have an eye for what I want this to look like. AI, I thought, could kind of get me there, but it's not. It's really not. And I'll admit, I'm probably not writing the best prompt, or maybe I'm not using, the best service or model or whatever of AI. That was kind of the point of this. I wanted to get better at utilizing these and kind of understanding the differences between the various, vendors or models, I guess they're called, and get better at prompting this. And I have. But here's the thing. I could sit here on stream for another 40 minutes and prompt this thing more and more. And, it's going to give me, this, right? Like, and yeah, I could ask it to refine this and add drop shadows and change the font and la 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 la. I could do that for 40 minutes, or I could just go to Tailwind UI and pick these components that I want and know that if nothing else, they're at least refined in a uniform way. And they're written with Tailwind that, I understand. Not to say that the Tailwind generated by A is bad necessarily. On the surface, if we go back to that chat, it looked pretty good from what I saw. So, there's things that these all make sense. It's not using like crazy stuff. Like it used Tailwind, so like that's good. But again, I can jump in here across several tabs, as I already have, in less than 40 minutes, and probably piece together a site that's going to look better than what this thing generated. That's the bottom line. Now, is that the case for everything, everywhere? No. Am I asking too much of AI? Maybe. Am I good at AI? No. Am I good at piecing stuff together from Tailwind and making a site? Yeah, I am. So I'm going to go with that. And again, bringing it full circle, mainly because I don't want to work on this project anymore. It's reached a place where like I need to be done. I need to have something to show. Lucette. Lucette is her name. I want to have something to show next week or whatever before I go to Laracon. Like I want to have something this month to show. So I've done 4 streams now, and while I have pieces of the site built, written, I don't have anything I can show her, right? It's all just code right now. It's an estimator and a form and blah, blah, blah. She can't see anything. So I need to get this design out. And to that point, I think I can do it faster. It's all about using the right tool. It's all about using the right tool. If you're good at AI and you can prompt it and you can get a design that you feel comfortable with, by all means. I feel like I can get a good design from using Tailwind UI. So anyway, let's see what we're hearing in the chat here. There was a lot there. Thanks for sticking with me for the first, 5 minutes of the chat while I gripe. Anyway, old man JMac gripe ended. Fishbulb 888. Tailwind UI will probably have better accessibility too. Yeah, again, you're gonna get more out of the box from Tailwind UI, crafted, catered, all the little shadows, the background, the responsiveness, the ARIA tags, la 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 la. You're gonna get it all. And I'm just gonna be able to copy and paste and put this thing together. So, in fairness, I spent about 10 minutes tops going through their current designs. Now, I will say of Tailwind, excellent UI if you want some kind of SaaS. Limited options if you want something that looks, like a full hero bloggy kind of commercial site. Now, I'm not saying this is a good looking site, so that's no fault to Tailwind and team. This thing's ugly. I don't want to necessarily create this, but it needs to be in the ballpark. I can't give her a techie, all text hero image, right? That doesn't make sense for a cleaning site as compared to the competition, right? The competition is very image heavy, this site's busy as all hell. So I don't want to recreate this, but the point is it's very image heavy, right? It wants to show you what they've cleaned. It wants to show you the team. It wants to show you before and afters. That's what we want. Again, all of these are busy, so I think I would like to give it a little bit of a modern touch as far as it feeling a little more airy than these. I don't want it to feel busy. And I think that makes it feel, again, from a product perspective, this is where I feel more comfortable. I think that makes it feel a little more modern and makes it feel a little more personal, right? All of these sites are commercial. They're just cleaning services. You're not going to get the same person when they come and clean your home or your business or whatever whatever service they're providing. You might not get the same person every week. Lucette's an individual in a company, and she's going to be there, every time. You're going to get the same team. You're going to get familiar with them. It's personal. So I think I want to relay that, in the content. So again, while these are a little, a little techie, a little servicey, a little sassy, I think I can touch them up and rearrange them a little bit to make them feel, still fit a design that makes sense for her. So to that point, I could hobble together all these little heroes and this, that, and the other. I don't think there's clear winners in any one thing. I love these bento grids, so I think I want to incorporate that. I need kind of a services section, as we saw. I definitely want some testimonials. So kind of going back to these landing pages, I think there's 2 landing pages here that actually could work. So I think what I'm going to do is take the full landing page. For example, this one. I liked this one. I'm going to take this full landing page, but I actually liked the kind of the hero and the full picture and stuff from this one. So basically what I'm going to do is I'm going to copy this about page, because I think it fits more closely what the landing page for her personal cleaning service site should be, but I'm probably going to take a section or 2 from this kind of somewhat compatible looking testimonial. Maybe this will be the estimator section. It's already got a form here. maybe take those and throw it into the about page, right? So these two sections, and they'll go back, because I don't think this has like testimonials or anything. Yeah, see, it doesn't have any testimonials. But from a shell perspective, I like the about better. That's simpler. It doesn't have all the sass stuff, but I can pull a few pieces out of the middle. And the nice thing is it looks like this background gradient and this little grid box is pretty similar, yeah, to what's being used. Might not be exactly the same, but it's pretty similar to what's being used here. So I think I can make those two designs flow and it not feel too Frankensteinish, right? So let's do that. We're gonna get into the code. 10 minutes in. Thanks for coming along. Okay, where is PHP Storm? Let's get PHP Storm going. Let's get whoa, not that. Let's get Composer, run dev. I think what we did last time, if I remember, it was a couple weeks ago now, but I think what we did last time is I think we just put a form up on the home page, if I remember right. Yeah, we just put a form up. Yeah. So we could submit, again, not very visual, but so we could submit the estimator and see that it was actually, working. And again, I got to put the error messages and error handling, all the stuff here. So what we need to do is put a wrapper around this now. So let's bring these components in that I want, and then off stream I'll do copy and change them to, images of clean houses and all that kind of stuff. So let's close these other crappy competitor sites out. I don't think I'm going to be using ChatGPT today, so let's close that. And again, in fairness to AI, once I have this, I'm going to go back and probably ask it like, oh, give me those images, right? Like, so I'm going to use it. I think using it to create a full on-page template. Again, if you like the designs in Tailwind UI, go for it. Well, that's kind of interesting. It doesn't have the outer grid. I would have assumed it had the HTML in the body and so forth. Okay, whatever. Where are we? Cleaning service. There we go. Does this one actually have that? Code. Nope, they all start there. Okay. That is one thing I've noticed about Tailwind UI is like some are like full page templates and then others are kind of like the snippets. And kind of it's interesting, some of the way in which they style things in one design, even if it's very similar to another, is there's a little bit of like a consistency, an inconsistency. So hopefully I don't run into that between hobbling together these two designs. Again, I'm probably not using it the way it was intended to be used. It's like take this one component and it works in isolation, not Frankenstein a whole site together. I don't know, maybe though. Could be wrong. All right, resources, views, estimate. Okay, so let's throw in a layout. Let's get a new file. Let's call it layouts, and we'll call it it can just be the app layout php.blade.php. There we go. All right, cool. Don't ever ask me that again. And how much of this do we want to paste in here? I think we want to paste a pretty good amount. Okay, we've got everything. We've got the footer. We've got the div. We've got the la 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 la. Okay, I'm actually going to change this to the body class. And then just for now, I'm going to give it the standard like HTML and the head tag and all that junk. All right. And we can pull this from another site. Did they have it? Does the Laravel site come with a landing? They come with a home page that has everything, right? Let's just go steal the... Yeah, let's go steal from Welcome Blade. Yeah, this is what I want. This is what I want. Let's take that from Welcome Blade. Plop. Okay, cool. Okay, let's review this. We got Lang, we got stuff, we got Laravel. Let's just say cleaning, service. Oh my goodness, service. All right, cool. We probably won't need these fonts, but we will probably need, I think Tailwind UI wants you to use enter, so we'll probably need to drop that in there. And then we've got Tailwind V4. Okay, so I think this should work. Let's go, well, no, we need to update, we need to now update show to not DD our estimate. Where did we put this? Oh, we just put it all in home. Okay. Oh, I did. I did have it all here. Okay, whoops. Okay. Let's change this. Let's kill this now, and we'll say at layout is now app, right? And then we can have, is it section? I think it's section. I'm doing this off memory. Or no, it's not layout, it's extends. There we go. Extends app. And then this will be section. For now, I'm just going to call it, I'm going to change this, but let's just call it estimate so we kind of keep our bit here. Let's drop this dump errors. And let's change that to, just so I don't forget, or not that. Ah! There we go. This, yes, there we go. That's what we want. To do form errors. Good enough. All right, and then an end section down here. We'll do end section. All right. So now if we refresh this, there we go. Cool. Okay, view app not found. Oh, is it layout? It's layouts.app. Layouts.app. There we go. Kaboom. Okay, so minus the font not being enter and minus the general boxing of the page. This is pretty good. This is pretty good. It works. We got it in here. Does this actually click? No, of course. Okay, that's fine. Okay, what don't we want in here? We can drop the R team and we can drop from the blog. I think we can drop those two sections. I definitely want the full image. This will probably turn into kind of about Lisette. I'll keep the full image for now because I may want to keep that for the hero. I think our values will probably turn into the different service offerings. And then this, I want this part to be the testimonials section. I probably like this better for the services in fairness. So what I want here is this deploy faster to the people they've worked with. I want these three middle sections to replace kind of everything below our values. So let's fix that. Let's go back to app. Let's find our values. There they are. Okay. Values section. All right, let's close that. So we don't want this logo cloud, and we don't want the team section, and we don't want the blog section, and now we're down to the footer. Okay. Hold on a second. I just want to make sure I'm respecting, well, I'll have it from values. I just want to make sure I keep the positioning because it might not match in the other thing, but I'll keep the values section, so I'll have that. Okay, so let's kill that. And then we need to go, all right, cool. And now we're gonna go back over here. Let's look at the code for this. Let's just copy it all. I think it'll be easier, maybe, could be wrong about that. Let's paste it in here. Is this labeled? What did we want from this? We wanted deploy faster. Where's deploy faster? There it is. Okay, feature section. We want to keep you. Newsletter section is going to be our estimate section, and we want the testimonial section. Okay, great. So pretty much everything else, well, really what I want to do is take this, cut that, Control Z, all of this back out, and then paste what I copied. Beautiful. Okay, and MX Auto, okay, so MX Auto, MT32, max width 7, PX, okay, so all of MT, okay. So slightly larger margins on the top. We'll keep it, but I can always bounce it down to 40. But everything else looks pretty good. Everything else looks pretty good. Let's go see what this looks like. Okay, so we have our top section. We have our mission. We have a big image just floating for now, but that's going to be fixed. We got the values. Now we have kind of another, so the values section and then this deploy faster section, what is this called? The values and the features section will really get merged into one services section. Now again, the content is going to come from Lisette, so I can figure out, which different services that she offers. So if she offers like 7 services, then I'll just kind of duplicate the boxes here. Okay, this section is now going to be our estimate section to draw out. And then we have all the testimonials. Now this gridded background will probably become, this grid instead, or maybe the grid gets dropped and I use this. I don't know which, SVG backdrop I'm going to use just yet. So it's a little cluttered in that regard. It's a little, not cluttered, it's a little inconsistent in that regard. But I think we got everything. And I mean, for hobbling two designs together, like, this is nice. I feel way better about this, working on this as a starter, than I would what we saw from ChatGPT. That's just me, right? But that's kind of the point I was making in the beginning. Like, the thing from ChatGPT would have been fine, but I would have done I would have spent 30 minutes prompting it to make it feel like it was giving me something of value. And then I still would have spent probably 2 hours tweaking that. And I just hobbled this together in 11 minutes from Tailwind UI. Again, I'm not saying AI's not good or anything. I'm just saying, like, I just wasn't getting anywhere with those prompts, and I was starting to get a little discouraged, right? I want to keep working on this project. But also too, again, this is kind of favor. I'm interested in helping Lisette grow her business. I'm not getting paid for this per se. This isn't a client project per se. So like, I don't want to spend any more time than I need to on the design. Okay, let's clean this up a little bit. Let's clean this up a little bit. What really needs to happen here? I want to break this out from like just spend a few more minutes and break this out, like actually put our form in here and all that kind of stuff. So let's do that. This also too isn't really a fair. There's some more things I need to do here, but this isn't really how much of the app layout do I want, right? Does the app layout give you the shell, or is the app layout like really more of the entire homepage? The reality is this is going to be a single page site. Since it's going to be a single page site, I'm almost tempted to go back to where everything's just on that homepage. I don't even need a layout, because when you get an estimate, you're going to land on an inner page that's not SEO, right? It's blocked from search engines. It's the result of a post request. Like, it's, the only page search engines would ever see is this. Do I really need to spend all the time like chopping up a layout? I think the answer is no. So let's collapse this. Let's collapse this form into our little guy, and just then we'll take app and drop it back into home and go from there. All right, where's that little newsletter? Whoops. Where's our newsletter friend? Here it is. Oh, it wasn't expanded. Okay, here's the form for the email address. So I'm gonna plop our form in here, which is probably not gonna look right. Let's just see how close it is. Okay, it's not terrible. And again, I'm not gonna use like purple necessarily for the background. So Okay, so we just need like some max widths and stuff going on here. What did it have? MX auto, max width mid. Okay, there we go. So let's fix that. So let's clean this up to have similar stuff. So we'll say class equals mx auto max width medium. There we go. That at least stacks a little better. Okay, and then I think we could just say text gray 300. Nope, just kidding. These, they have, that's why. They have explicit text colors on them. Okay. Can I get a majority of these? I don't want to spend too much time on this because, again, the color's not completely nailed down, but there we go. Text gray 300. There we go. It's better. Yeah, these will need to get changed. They were lighter. So yeah, maybe those are, who knows? Maybe those are 500 or 100. I'd have to play around with it or see what this is, right? What's this? Text 3. Oh, that was 300. What's this one? Is the heading 300 too? It seemed lighter. Well, again, I don't want to get stuck in the weeds here. That's what I wanted. Let's drop this in here. We're gonna cut this back out, put it back in home, paste it, make sure it still refreshes correctly. It seems to, great. And let's kill this layout. It's unnecessary. So basically show will just be its own full page as well. I mean, at most what I might do is some kind of minimal layout. But again, the title and all the stuff's gonna be, all the stuff's gonna be a bit dynamic. And plus the other one's gonna have some kind of meta tag for like no index, no follow. So again, not that many search engines to hit that since it requires a form submission, but just in case. So yeah, so the point is I think show will just be some kind of very minimal layout that I just copy. I don't need many of those header tags. So this seems to be looking good. The last thing I want to do, let's just make sure, where's like, I thought they have like a setup where you have to like install. Where's like their install? Am I crazy? Documentation. Just kidding. Where is the documentation? Changelog maybe? Nope. Huh. Where's that page that's like, here's how you actually start using Tailwind? Am I crazy? I feel like I've been here before. I've been in this place where it's like, wait a second, how do you actually set up Tailwind UI? Tailwind UI install. Installing. No, wait. This is actually installing Tailwind. That's not what I wanted. Here we go. UI blocks documentation. How do you get to this page? How do you get to this page other than searching? Am I crazy? Where's documentation? UI kit? Is it under kit? Nope. Documentation. There we go. There's a documentation link. Getting started. Oh, this is for the kit. Oh, what is this? What is this? What is this? Is this kit like... What is this? Is this kind of like Tailwind's Flux? Is it its version of Flux? I forgot about this thing. Whatever. Anyway, let's go back to where we were. Documentation. Okay, we installed the latest. That's fine. Here we go. That's what I was after. Okay, add the enter. All of the Tailwind Plus. Okay, great. And then add enter. Great. Okay. We're not still using Tailwind 3. Okay, so let's just finish this up. So this needs to be in the link. So instead of these font bunnies, I think we'll throw that in there, right? And then we need to throw this font in your Tailwind theme. So that goes, if I remember right, that is now, yes, that is now here for this. Whoops. I don't know why we have all that. I'm gonna get rid of that and just go here. All right, let's refresh. There we go. That tightened up the font a bit. Let's see if that feels... All right, let's close the documentation page. And, oh, we need to go to the about. Well, let's just go down to, let's go down to this, everything you need to deploy your app. Let's see if that feels... It feels... This feels a little... It feels like lighter. Mine feels heavier. Am I crazy? Is it just because it's jumping? There we go. Yeah, look at that. Check this out. The font's different. Yeah, look at that. Which font am I using? Do I have to refresh or something? Let's run dev again. Maybe because I temporarily messed up that theme thing, it has to rerun. I don't know. There, nope, just kidding. Refresh, hard refresh. Why do I have a different font here? Why do I have a different font? What is going on here? All right, what font is this using? What font are you using? You are using font family, inter variable. All right, what font family are you using? Inter variable. Why? It's claiming it's inter. That's strange. It's clearly not. It's clearly not inter. I don't know about that. I don't know why that's... I don't know why that's not. Did I paste this in the wrong spot? There that is. Seems to be loading. Maybe somebody's got an answer in the chat. Check the rendered font bit just below. Rendered font. Default font family. This seems... That seems like the old value I had a minute ago. It seems like it's... It seems like this is like caching somehow. Oh, hold on. I think I know what's up. This is... I'm getting into the else here. I'm getting into the else here, I bet. Nope, just kidding. Where? It reloaded, right? No, yes, yeah, page reload. V, full reload. I'm on home. I changed app. What if I did something dramatic like body, background, color, red. Oh, it's rendering. It's rendering, that's for sure. Okay. I don't know. I don't have an answer there. Is this supposed to belong at the top or something? Does this go higher up than this other stuff? I wouldn't think so. I don't know. Yeah, I mean, based on what Chrome is claiming, it's supposed to be reading from this enter variable, but to your point in the chat, if you click down here, the default font family is being, I don't see enter being picked up there. So something's getting overridden. I don't think it's catching this theme. I don't think it's catching that theme correctly. Yeah. You were in the right place in the DevTools. Just below the computed font, it should show what is rendered and the original. Just below the computed font. Rendered font, font family, enter variable. I don't know. I don't know. It doesn't seem like it's rendering enter. One of us isn't rendering the enter font. Either they are not, or I am not. I mean, I think I am not. Let's see. Font. Yeah, see, that's weird. They have the default font family. Yeah, if we go to computed, yeah, enter. I mean, according to, we both should be rendering the same stuff. Here, okay, here's font feature settings. Okay, so maybe this has something to do with it, is what you're saying. I don't know. Like I said, I don't really care that much to dig too deep through this. Yeah, see, font feature settings, they're not exactly the same. These are normal, whereas this is that. I don't know where that gets changed. Font feature settings. Can I change this? Yeah, there it is. Okay, that's what it is, font feature settings. I don't know. I'll go read the docs again and see if they mentioned something about that. But it seems like if I hard code that seems to be the difference. If we look here, if I changed that and we close these down and we kind of line those up again, we'll see those A's. This still feels a little lighter to me, like font weight wise, than this. So yeah, there's still a little bit, there's still a little off. But again, I'm not going to worry about it too much because that might not be exactly what I land on. But I feel like if I kind of keep messing with this, mine's definitely bolder than the other. So I'll go take a look and see what additional properties I'm missing. There's clearly something a little off there. But anyway, long story short, I think this is a much better starting point than what ChatGPT was going to give me. I got here a lot faster. I feel better about messing with this than I do some arbitrary code generated for me. Again, that is not a knock on AI. It is more a knock on myself that I probably just didn't have the correct prompts, but this feels pretty good. I can work with this. I feel better about working with this, and that's kind of what matters at this point because I gotta get cranking on this thing so I can show it off. All right, well that's it for today. I'm gonna fill out these sections. I think with actual content. Maybe next time we'll. I don't know. I think I'll probably just demo the final thing when it's when it's done. A couple weeks from now. But I don't think I'm going to stream on it anymore. I think I've given this enough stream time. So I think next week I've got an idea for some other stuff. I've got an idea of a couple other things I want to work on next week. So we'll switch gears next time. Anyway, thanks everybody for going on the journey, listening to me gripe. See you next time.